If you want all of your data in one place, if you want a single home for all of your entities, if you want to spend more time working and less time searching, you need the Intuit ERP. I know because I'm Damon John, and I run my growing business on Intuit Enterprise Suite, the AI native ERP that's powerful, painless, and proven. Learn more at intuit.com/ERP.
This episode is brought to you by Starbucks.
That is fire. Whoa, that's good.
This might be the drink of the summer.
Okay, I like this one too. I'm rocking with it, okay.
Try it for yourself. Starbucks Refreshers Concentrates are coming home. Find them in the coffee aisle and make it yours.
And now, a special edition of the Toddcast podcast.
Well, normally I would ask you what the plans are for Christmas break, what you're going to get up to, but let's just assume that you will not be a selfish prick. You will not be breaking COVID regulations and laying low at home with the family, taking it easy. Maybe burn up to Cyprus to get a little social distance snowboarding in, but mostly it's about family, right? It's the good dinners, the movie nights, card games. If there's a silver lining to this batshit crazy pandemic times, it's that you got more family time in 2020 than any other year, or at least that's certainly been the case for me. Beyond the podcast, I'm also an instructor for the radio arts and entertainment course at BCIT here in Vancouver, in Burnaby. And we've been teaching online since April with no return to campus until September 2021 at the earliest. So I'm home with my wife, Jessica, my two kids, James and Levi. And they're probably sick of me by now, but that's the silver lining to COVID is family. And hopefully when things go back to normal post-COVID, bosses and company owners will ease off on that Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 work schedule and let their workers continue to work from home, even if it's just 3 days a week. So you go to work on Monday and Thursday or whatever the days work out to, just to get the workload done. You just showed your place of employment that you can do it. We've done it for 8 months now? I guess that's the other silver lining to COVID. It's been a crazy year. 2020 has been rough. The death toll just keeps piling up. People losing their jobs, unemployment skyrocketing. It is scary. And we've tried to continue with the podcast as if everything is normal, knowing full well that it's not. We haven't done a live podcast show at the Railway, downtown Vancouver, since April, maybe even March. That's a big hole in what we do month to month. We lost sponsors because of COVID, making it even harder, of course, for everything to happen. There's a lot that goes into promoting the podcast online and booking guests and finding great sponsors, etc., etc. Speaking of, this week and next are both year in review episodes for the podcast. You're going to hear highlights from 12 guests in each week. My name is Todd Hancock. Thank you so much for checking us out. If you like what you're about to hear, you can subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And please tell your friends about what we're doing as well. Word of mouth is a big way we get the podcast out there, and we see it daily on social media. So thank you so much. Sharing, retweeting, commenting. Coming up in about maybe 15 minutes in Listen to This, Pantera bassist Rex Brown talking about the pranks that they pulled while out on tour. Man, would have that been great to be a fly on the wall for that band's tour days. That is powered by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, RV repair and service, ICBC accredited. Check, check, check. Find them online at TedcoRVSuppliesInc.com. First, let's get to some of our musical guests in this Year in Review podcast, all of whom are brought to you by Pineapple Sound, a recording and mixing studio in Langley since 2013. Podcasts as well, bands of course, voiceovers, and a lot more. Check them out through pineapplesound.com. You'll know Chantal Kreviazik's music since the mid-90s. Her debut came out in 1996. She's had great success since then. Hit songs, an album sold, chart placement. She's one of the best-selling Canadian artists in Canada. And when Chantal was a guest of the show at the start of the year, she talked about growing up and the music, the bands that were being played in her house.
It was Barbra Streisand, it was Elvis Presley, it was John Lennon, Yoko Ono, it was religious, sort of more evangelical Christian music. It was everything. You know, it's just absolutely everything. And then when my brothers who are older than me and my cousins who are older than me, they were like my sisters, got at me, it was like all this amazing, you know, rock and roll music. From Zeppelin to Judas Priest, to like, you know, and then I got into my Floyd and my everything. Just, it was amazing.
When Refused put out the album The Shape of Punk to Come, it blew minds. Punishing band, killer riffs, great rhythm section, and with their latest album War Music, they showed you that once again they're one of the best post-hardcore bands on earth. And when their singer Dennis was a guest back in March, we got to talking about Star Wars and how it took over his life as a kid. Kind of relate to that one. And what about The Mandalorian on Disney Plus? How good is that?
I'm also watching The Mandalorian because I am a kid of that age and time where Star Wars just, you know, like I'm one of those guys that my brother texted me on tour. He's like, I'm buying tickets for the Star Wars movie. Are you in? I'm like, yeah, what do you think? Of course I'm in, you know, so.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, like, didn't Star Wars just, like, literally take over your life as a kid?
Yes, it did. I remember, because, I mean, it was one of those deals where I was lucky enough to see Return of the Jedi at the movies when it came out.
Yeah.
And then Swedish television showed the first, like, A New Hope, I guess it's called.
Yeah, the first one, yeah.
And yes, and we taped it on VHS, and for, you know, whatever, like 2 months, I watched it every day coming home from school. I'm just like, I'm going to watch Star Wars once more. So, yeah, it became a big thing in my life. And it is funny how that is, how that, like, so imprints on you, because I still have a huge weak spot for sci-fi movies, and I'm still, you know, like, I'm not a complete nerd, but I think trying to be a punk, I had to sort of push the nerdiness away a little bit, but it's in there for sure.
But it's impossible, especially The Mandalorian is so good. Like, I've got a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old, and they're just, I mean, dude, they are glued to the screen. Still today, like, look at this franchise. Like, how old is that franchise? 40 years old, and it's still continuing to kick everybody's ass?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It's pretty amazing, yeah. Scratch something off the old bucket list at the end of March when former Slayer drummer Dave Lombardo was a guest, widely considered, of course, one of the best thrash drummers of all time. You know him now from playing in Suicidal Tendencies, Dead Cross, Mr. Bungle, The Misfits. Drummer World named him the godfather of double bass. And when Dave called up, we got to talking about conspiracy theories and whether he thought aliens had visited Earth. Think we could have talked about this for at least a couple hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Aliens, man, they're out there. How do you think we got here, man? There's a missing link. Something's missing between man and animal, you know, or man and ape. So I feel possibly an alien came down, fucked an ape, and created humans.
There you go. There you go. Not only that, but also
that's
like
my conclusion, man.
Just the jump
you know?
in, like, you know, we're like cave dwellers, and then suddenly we're building pyramids, like overnight.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Just, you know, not even cave dwellers, because there's still, before cave dwellers, there's no link between human and animal. There's a missing part, you know. And who knows? I don't know.
Well, a lot of people think maybe it might even be like the Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Possibly.
You never know.
Who knows?
Sorry, it's unbelievable, man. There's so many mysteries out there. We don't know what the fuck went on millions of years ago.
Totally. You can speculate, but, you know, nobody knows.
No.
Nobody knows.
Nope.
And based on podcast plays, you're a fan of the Black Crowes. Former drummer Steve Gorman's episode was our second most played podcast of 2020. This next to Megadeth's bassist David Ellefson's appearance, which you'll hear some of that next week. The Black Crowes are a staple of any good rock radio station. #1 albums, amazing live band. At one point, you could have put them as probably one of the best on the planet. Known for the brothers Robinson, Chris, and Rich fighting like cats and dogs. And when Steve was a guest, this was back in mid-April, we talked extensively about his memoir, Hard to Handle, The Life and Death of the Black Crowes, which is an incredible read. We got into influences and how the Beatles drummer Ringo Starr is a genius.
You know, you only get that much grief when you're at a level where there's nothing else to do but take shots at a certain point.
Right.
And, you know, it's funny. You still hear people maintain that the Beatles weren't great players. And, you know, the answer to that is, okay, you go play without monitors and, you know, in a stadium, and you sound like you make a sound like that band could make. I mean, you know, I put everything in sports analogies, and there are people who will tell you that Wilt Chamberlain's a better basketball player than Bill Russell to this day, and I don't take those people seriously. It's like, it means nothing. Bill Russell won 11 championships and never looked at the stat line once. That's the point. And music is a team sport in rock and roll music. It's not about who played the best part. It's about what band had the best vibe together collectively. And, you know, Ringo is, you know, if you can make those other three guys all feel good with what you're doing to their songs, you're a genius. I'm sorry. That's all there is to it.
Musical guests of the Toddcast podcast are powered by Pineapple Sound, providing recording and mixing services for a wide range of artists and genres since 2013. Check them out at pineapplesound.com. And now, listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
When you start talking about the most influential metal bands of all time, Pantera needs to be near the top. Their bass player Rex Brown has been on the podcast. Of course, you'll know him from being in Down, Kill Devil Hill, and now his solo stuff. If you haven't heard his debut solo album, Smoke on This, it's definitely worth the spin. Some nice and heavy stuff. Some of it's lighter and groovy. It chugs along. It's a really good listen. And when Rex was a guest, we talked about comic books, Captain America specifically, and the power of quitting smoking. Geez, imagine that. He told the story of seeing Kiss for his first concert. Weed came up, legalized marijuana, as did staying hungry and the importance of blues music. He shared the toughest decision of his career, and Rex talked about pulling pranks while out on tour. Listen to this.
Yeah, abso-freaking the best and worst pranks. Every day was a prank. You know, if it wasn't me, it was somebody on the road crew. If it wasn't Daryl, it was somebody on the road crew. If it wasn't Vinny, it was somebody on the road crew. Right. That's how you know, we were kind of a family, and it was always, you know, prank central, and who could handle it, you know? And me and Dom are usually at the center of all that kind of crap. You know, if you didn't go along with it, you were pretty much, you got it the next day, right. You know? So he was the prankster in the band, you know? He was always coming up with something. And look, we played all these places, they all look the same. You know, you're going into the same, you know, basically hockey arenas or whatever they were that we were playing, you know? And it was always, we had to, you know, for being on the road, we tried to make it as homely as we could, you know. At the same time, it's still, you're sitting in a locker in the back of this cold-ass fucking arena, you know, with nothing to do all day. So we would come up with all kinds of pranks from going out and buying the richest, biggest chocolate cake and see who could eat it at the end of the night for $2,000.
Listen to This on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC-approved repair shop. Find them online at TedcoRVSuppliesInc.com.
Dollars and cents, invisible hands upon the mount. Legless foot, faceless eyes, armless hound. Horses held, bigger on death, secret spell. Come apart, finish the start, count me out. She's a black canvas for the new world. She's a black canvas for the new world. That God is good when creation to soul. She's a black canvas for the new world.
That band is War Baby, and going back to the beginning for that one, Horseless Headman, unfortunately, they've called it a day back in June of 2020, posting on their Facebook page, quote, "The end. After 10 and a bit years, we've decided to let War Baby go. We just can't see eye to eye on things anymore. And to be completely honest, it just hasn't been fun for a bit." Damn, love that band. They played a podcast show about a year and a half back. Amazing players. You should definitely keep an eye out for a new project out of their ashes. It wouldn't surprise me to see something out of that split. I played you Brass Camel, and that song's called Issues, a band that we'd planned on doing a show with pre-COVID. It was all set up, it was ready to go, it was kind of waiting on the announcement, and then, of course, all shows get canceled or postponed. No idea when we're going to get those podcast shows up and running again. I'm hopeful for a late summer 2021 kind of thing, which sucks to say. Okay, Todd's Trolls is coming up. It's the stupid, the mean, the hurtful, but really it's the funny things that people say to what you post, what you see online. And this week, of course, we look back on the year 2020, and a few have that spotlight. Kesha, Green Day, the live-action Mulan movie, and the Kentucky Derby. That is powered by The Garage, Games and Geekery in Maple Ridge. It's your place to slay trolls. Play D&D, Warhammer, and a lot more. Find them online at garagegames.ca. First, more guests in this Year in Review podcast and some sporting guest highlights. You started seeing Canadian Olympic snowboarder Mercedes Nicoll in the world scene in 1999, tearing it up on the halfpipe. World Cup debut in December 1999, Whistler in halfpipe and snowboard cross. 3 years later, 2002, she won the bronze at the World Cup. In total, 8 World Cup medals and 5-time Canadian national champion. Impressive stuff. She competed at the 2006, 2010, 2014 Winter Olympics, one of Canada's best snowboarders. In 2018, she was named to Canada's Olympic team for the 4th time. Does that make her a competitive adrenaline junkie?
For sure. And I'm very competitive.
Love it. Still, even present day. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Like, you want to play, like, a game or cards?
Yeah.
Or tennis or any sports, I'm very competitive.
It's on. It's on. I love it. You'll know Nicholas Namath as WWE SmackDown superstar Dolph Ziggler. He's held the World Heavyweight Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, the United States Championship, the Raw Tag Team Championship. He's one of the most decorated WWE wrestlers of all time. And when he was a guest, we talked about GNR's comeback tour with Slash and Duff back in the band and how incredibly amazing it is.
I just saw Guns N' Roses a couple of weeks ago, and they rock. They go almost 3 hours long.
How good is that tour? I mean, it's so good. I mean, they played the BC Place here in Vancouver, and dude, it was incredible.
There's no, like, it's crazy. Axl's so much better than he was 15 years ago.
Right.
And they play for 3 hours. They rock. Everybody hits their stuff. It's so fun.
Staying with wrestling for a sec, you heard WWE superstar Raven was on the podcast back in mid-March. He's wrestled on so many platforms: ECW, WCW, WWE, WWF, TNA, and he has an insane 36 title reigns under the WWE, WCW, and ECW banners. Knowing that he's a fan of MMA, I wanted to get his thoughts on that Conor McGregor, Donald Cerrone UFC fight earlier on in the year.
You know, if it really happens, which, you know, you never know, because, you know, McGregor's got $100 million in the bank. He doesn't need, you know, so how motivated he'll be, well, you can look at it two ways. You can say he'll be super motivated because he lost to Khabib and he needs to redeem himself, or you can see him going, I should be able to kill Cerrone and not train worth of crap. You know, and also have no motivation because he's so rich. So it depends which Conor shows up. If the old Conor shows up, I think he's going to beat Cerrone. But if he doesn't, he's going to get knocked out.
Interesting, knocked out, eh?
Well, I mean, only if the old Conor, only if the new Conor, you know, if the wealthy Conor shows up, you know what I mean? Like, not the old.
Yeah, the hunger. Is the hunger still there? You got $100 million in the bank, right? Like,
right.
How hungry are you at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he may be hungry enough again, you know, so.
And in May 2012, boxer Marlon Esparza became the first American woman to qualify for the Olympics in the first year that women's boxing was an Olympic event. She won bronze in London. In 2017, she was signed to a multi-year deal with Golden Boy. Right around the time that she was a guest in late April of 2020, COVID made sure to postpone her latest fight. We talked about what a bummer that was, and got into the outcome of the Fury Wilder 2 boxing match, which was a great fight.
I was trying to explain to people the kind of like the longevity of it, because, I mean, Tyson, to me, going into it, Tyson, the first time wasn't really his full self. And because he struggles with depression and all that, I think people don't understand how much it affects you, like for sports or for boxing especially.
Right.
So when he was recovering from everything that he went through, like he still wasn't his full self.
Mm-hmm. Yet he still won the majority of the rounds before, losing the fight. Or not losing it, but the draw.
Yeah, well, people take it as a loss, but with the draw, because in my head it's like, well, if he didn't win, he lost because he was the challenger. But
sure,
it was more of, to me it was just like, I didn't think that anybody had seen everything that he could do, and he's so big, and everybody in their minds, because Wilder hits hard, they just think Wilder's bigger. But if people who know boxing and really pay attention, like Fury was so much bigger than Wilder. So I think a lot of things got misconstrued, because you have people who like boxing, but they don't pay attention to the details. And then you have the people who, are sports analysts or whatever, and they kind of say that they don't know. But I think a lot of the sports analysts just don't want to be wrong if they bet on something or say something repeatedly.
Yeah, right.
So, they kind of try to play the fence with it, because they're like, well, I'll look dumb if I'm wrong. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into people kind of wondering what's going to happen. But I didn't think Tyson had really that big of a chance to lose, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and a lot of people were questioning why he was putting on the weight that he was. And, I mean, he looked good.
He's a big boy. He needs to use it, and he can move,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I thought he did. And he did better than I thought he was going to do. I knew he was going to do well. But he, murdered it the entire time.
Subscribe on iTunes at Toddcast Podcast.
Tell me all your secrets, she said. Showing up half cut at 3 a.m. I can't keep going through the motions, just every lie at the end. There's no sense in running around pretending like we're gonna stick it out. Oh, but it's still her that I crave. Too many times. She's so caught up in addiction. Oh, tries to bring comfort to life. Oh, she begs me to stay a little bit longer. Oh, she begs me to stay a little bit longer. I
Toddcast podcast is powered by Milano Coffee, bringing you the finest espresso and coffee concepts in the world. Online at milanocoffee.ca.
A look at this week's keyboard warriors, Todd's Trolls, on the Toddcast podcast.
And it's everywhere you look online. The chirpy comments to pretty much everything and anything. And this week, you'll hear some of the best that we found this year. It's a best of, you might say. It doesn't matter what it is. No one and nothing is safe. Kesha released a new album called High Road at the start of the year. Here's an artist who sold over 134 million albums worldwide, yet somehow she still gets chirped.
Nothing, and I mean nothing, could make me listen to this steaming pile of music. Can you hear the air quotes? Finally, something that sucks more than RedTube. Oh, look at that. The dumbing down of our musical society is complete.
Green Day has sold more than 85 million albums. They have 5 Grammy Awards, and yet they take heat. They released their new album in early February. It's called Father of All Motherfuckers, which goes over really well for radio.
Really? Do people still give a shit about Green Day? I had no idea. Someone should check the expiry date on this band. Something smells a little bit off. Every song has sounded the same since the 90s. Seriously, they're the Melba Toast of punk rock.
Did you catch this one in theater? Who goes to theaters right now? Towards the end of March, the live-to-action Mulan was released, and despite not being a fan of that style of movie, the trailer looked pretty good, right?
Dear Hollywood, come on, enough. We don't want your remakes and reboots. Signed, everyone. How many W's should I put in yawn? I want to get this tweet to Disney just right. This movie is needed like Trump needs another 4 years in office.
And the Kentucky Derby was supposed to happen in early May in Louisville, Kentucky. That got moved to early September because COVID.
They should whip those little jockey bastards after the race. Tit for tat, right? How something as cruel as horse racing is still a thing in 2020 is amazing, isn't it? New drinking game. Every time they whip the horse, drink. This could be dangerous.
Todd's Trolls on the Toddcast podcast is powered by The Garage, Games and Geekery, your place to play RPGs, board games, and Warhammer in Maple Ridge. Online at garagegames.ca.
Restless heart, don't fall apart. You've been hanging by a thread, woven seams in your head. It's a long time coming, baby, and I see you running, maybe. It's a long time coming, baby boy, baby boy. You're innocent, and I know that you've been hanging by a thread on the things that I've said. It's a long time coming, baby, and I see you running, maybe. It's a long time coming, baby boy, baby boy. We must begin to grow from within, to build up from the start, or we'll all fall apart. It's a long time
That's a new one for the podcast, a first spin for the band Wild Dove. And that one's called Baby Boy. If you're going, why do I recognize that voice? That's Devin from Echo, Nebraska, a band that we played a fair amount on the podcast. A new project for Devin. Sounds awesome. Very Matthew Good-ish. And I know that bands hate that when they get compared to other bands, but of course, I mean, no disrespect. Matt Good's rad. Played you Winter Youth, and their song was Half Cut. Love that band. Miss seeing them on the scene. They played a few shows, I think, for the podcast now over the years. A phenomenal band. That singer has got to be one of the best voices around, not just Vancouver. Speaking of live music, if you're playing a socially distanced, safe show, does that even happen right now? Or a live stream shows, those happen. Tell me about it. Send me the info and I'll add it to the indie scene at toddhancock.ca. That is brought to you by Mystic Rhythms Rehearsal Studios. Hopefully they're back in business soon because, of course, COVID has shut them down for the time being. 40 plus years experience in the music industry. Find out more through mysticrhythms.ca. Okay, let's get to the final guests of this episode 235 and some of our entertainment guests in the year 2020, the Year in Review podcast, all of whom are brought to you by Tomes. Let them help relieve stress and anxiety, ensure a good night's sleep as well. The first 7 nights are 100% free at tomes.com. That's TAUMMHOMS.com. TAUMMHOMS.com. You heard Riverdale actor Ryan Robbins on the podcast in the beginning of February, something like that. And you'll know him from so many other good shows as well. Stargate Atlantis, Sanctuary, Battlestar Galactica. He was in Pure, X-Files, Van Helsing, Arrow. And we've known each other for a few years, I think going back to the late 90s kind of thing, early 2000s, when he was in a local Vancouver rock band. Back to the early years of his acting career, I guess. And when Ryan called up to be a guest, he talked about being a comic book nerd, where both are, specifically the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man years.
I'm still a comic book nerd. I just I go a little bit. I just can't keep up with the Marvel DC.
The universes are, I mean, it's insane to try to keep up. I mean, I don't think we've been able to keep up since our 20s, early 20s.
No, if I were
too
to
many
step
titles
into it now, if I were to step into it now, I'd have no idea. Spider-Man was my guy, and Spider-Man and the X-Men, I think those were my
go-tos as well. Interesting. So were you collecting when it was Todd McFarlane doing all the 289, 290s, 300s and all that?
Yeah, for sure, which of course,
good was that?
You know, and then of course you go down the Spawn rabbit hole. And, that stuff was incredible. And for me, it was like, I always felt like an outsider. I was the kid in the corner with the mohawk. I was a weirdo over here. And I just felt like nobody understood me. And then, except for whoever was writing these comics, because I felt like they were writing these characters for me. Like these were weirdos and you know, the riffraff that the people pretended didn't exist, and they were doing. I love the anti-hero. I love the story of the character who just doesn't want this. He thinks it's a curse, but they still are compelled to do the right thing. And those are the characters that always resonated with me.
You'll know World Poker Tour Royal Flush Girl Ivy Tevez for more than just poker. She's modeled for some big brands over the years. You've seen her in Skechers, Coca-Cola. She's tough too, black belt in Taekwondo. And when she called up, she talked about being a huge Star Wars nerd.
People are like, "Oh my God, you're such a nerd." I was like, no.
And did you like the last Star Wars? Did you like the way? Have you seen it? The latest? The way they wrapped it up?
I have seen it. Yes, I love it. It's only because it's super entertaining. But I think like you can't beat the early days of Star Wars, which is like exactly. This one's a little, very Hollywood.
Very Hollywood. But yeah. So which is the best Star Wars then?
Oh my gosh, what?
Right?
So
like,
many
was it
of
New
them.
Hope?
There's
Is
so
it
many of them.
Empire Strikes Back? Like,
Yes,
I think
Empire Strikes
I think
Back.
It's
I
Empire.
love that one.
It's so badass with Hoth and
Right?
ice and all that. It's so good.
I like the classic.
You heard Canadian radio personality Danae Johnson on the podcast back in mid-March. She works for Virgin Radio in Kelowna. She's also a certified nutritionist, a somatic therapist in training. You'll love her vibe. Super cool. Oh, and she also has a podcast herself called the Hello Well podcast. And knowing that she's been in radio a long time, does a great job at it, and being that I'm an instructor for the Radio Arts and Entertainment course at BCIT, I asked her to give some advice for anyone thinking about getting into radio.
Oh, damn, really?
All right.
I don't know if I want to give that advice. I mean, what advice would I give? I would say, if it's something that you really love and that you're really passionate about, absolutely. Pursue whatever it is that you're truly passionate about, what you truly feel you're meant to be doing with your time on this planet.
Yes.
I would use it as a way of, getting experience, making connections, and at the same time, I think I would also be working on some sort of online component, whether it is a podcast or a YouTube channel, because that's the reality of where a huge, huge portion of the world is now, and how people are taking in media is through podcasting. So I think you can do both, and both of them are going to get you a different audience. So just, do both of them and get all the people listening and watching.
And we had a really interesting conversation with medical doctor and best-selling author Brooke Goldner. She's written 3 best-selling books, Goodbye Lupus, Goodbye Autoimmune Disease, and Green Smoothie Recipes to Kickstart Your Health and Healing. You've seen her in documentaries as well, like Eating You Alive, Whitewashed, and The Conspiracy Against Your Health. Dr. Goldner was a guest back in mid-April, right around the time that COVID was taking a good stranglehold on the world. Had to ask her how concerned she was about the coronavirus.
Oh, the coronavirus. Well, I am concerned right now about how contagious it is because nobody has immunity. It's a new one. And on the one hand, I'm not too worried about myself or my kids or anything like that because we have really strong immunity. And for people who are otherwise healthy, it's just going to be, if you get it, it'll be a flu. And for some people, just a mild flu. So for most people, probably 70% or more, it won't be a big deal. The problem is the vulnerable people in our society, the elderly, the immunocompromised, people with chronic illness. Yeah, I just read something yesterday that the people most at risk are people with illnesses like high blood pressure or heart disease. I'm like, okay, so that's everyone. But
right.
That's the number one killer in America is heart disease.
Heart disease, yeah.
So there are people who are vulnerable. So even with those of us that are going to not get that sick, we need to protect ourselves because if we get that virus, we could pass it to someone who's vulnerable. So right now I'm saying don't panic, but protect. I had to cancel. I've never canceled an event. I will travel and I will teach happily. But I had an event coming up in Tucson in a couple weeks, and I had to cancel my trip. And actually, after I canceled, they ended up canceling the conference because it does not make sense now to get on a plane and to have hundreds of people gather in one spot when we've got this kind of virus. So I don't think people should panic, but I do think we need to be smart. We need to make sure we're doing heavy hand washing. We are not going out into big public situations. This is a time to not fly if you don't need to, and just be careful. But it's not that we need to panic. I don't think that, we're going to have mass deaths. It's just going to be that it's something that we need to be careful about until people have built up some immunity, or maybe we get a vaccine, or until it passes through, because it's going to take a few months to run its cycle.
Entertainment guests of the Toddcast podcast are powered by Tomes, where quality sleep matters. Find out more at Tomes.com. That's TAUMMHOMS.com.
Everywhere I go, I'm fucking losing it. All these stupid people always talking shit. Count me in, I always throw it down. Turn it up, I always wanna hear it loud. I'm always stressing out. Give me another round. I gotta take some time to figure out what's going down. I wanna try all the time to lose this down state of mind. I wanna feel something right. I wanna feel alive.
The Followays, and a great song for those guys called Alive. I spent a good chunk of time recently in Toronto working on new music, and hopefully you'll hear that sooner than later. I'd bet something probably in the first part of 2021. Not to put words in their mouth, but if you get a chance to see these guys live, do it. They've played a couple, 3 shows now for the podcast over the years, and they absolutely bring it. They're great guys as well. Stoked to hear new music coming out of those guys. Looking forward to next week, the second part of our year in review. You will hear, again, 12 more 2020 guests and some highlights from those interviews. Of course, we wanted to give a big thanks to all of our guests from this week as well. It means a lot that you would take the time to be a guest in 2020. So cheers. And that's going to do it for episode 235, the year in review, part 1. Again, my name is Todd Hancock. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, again, please tell your friends and subscribe on iTunes or Spotify, SoundCloud. You can also find us on a couple networks. The Dean Blundell Network out of Toronto at deanblundell.com, and the Boot Crew Media Network out of New Orleans. Cool, right? At bootcrewmedia.com. Comment and rate the podcast. It helps out big time. Search it out again through Toddcast Podcast on any platform. Huge thanks to all of our wonderful sponsors. We couldn't do it without their unwavering support over the years. You can find links to all sponsor websites at toddhancock.ca. If you'd like to sponsor the podcast, you can for as little as $10 a day. Contact info at the homepage. Till next week, don't be an asshole. Nobody wants to be around that. Have fun, play hard, and most of all, believe in yourself.
The Toddcast Podcast. Keep in touch with Todd through Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and bookmark toddhancock.ca.
The Tudors were probably the most scandalous dynasty in British history. This season on Vulgar History, we're spilling the tea on this messy, messed up family and the people who had to live through it all. Anne Boleyn and the other wives of Henry VIII are known today from the musical Six, but who were they really? Did any of them actually want to marry him? Henry VIII, the man who was literally the worst? How did 2 of them manage to escape with their heads intact? We'll also get into historical mysteries, like who really wrote Shakespeare's plays? Who was the real Bloody Mary? And what was happening elsewhere in the world while the Tudors were trampling all over England, like the mysterious disappearance of the Roanoke colony and the true story of the girl known as Pocahontas. I'll be joined by Tudor historians, experts, and a few of my friends who really hate Henry VIII to learn all about the Tudors this season on Vulgar History. Because it's Henry VIII all day, every day. Listen to Vulgar History wherever you get podcasts.
Now, before you go hunting for something else to listen to, let me make it easy. I'm Mike Carruthers, host of a podcast called Something You Should Know, and I speak with experts about fascinating things that affect your life, from human behavior, relationships, health, science, and everyday mysteries. We've been downloaded millions of times because every episode teaches you something you'll be talking about later. Open up Something You Should Know and give it 1 episode. You might just find your new favorite podcast.
For 8 years, we've been asking the same question over and over again. How did this happen? My name's Mandy.
And I'm Melissa, and we're the hosts of Moms and Mysteries, the true crime podcast with over 55 million downloads.
We're 2 Florida moms who are obsessed with mysteries. Each week, we do deep dives into fascinating true crime stories.
We cover everything from infamous cases like Casey Anthony
to the bizarre and complex crimes right here in our home state, like the shocking murder of FSU professor Dan Markell.
We bring you the facts, but with warmth and wit you'd only get from 2 friends who have been hooked on mysteries since childhood.
Join us for new episodes of Moms and Mysteries every Tuesday and Thursday.
Listen to Moms and Mysteries on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast.